working with back bends today. Let's unclutter our hearts and just create a little bit more space and notice perhaps where we get stuck, whether it's physically, whether it's the breath, or energetically. So we're gonna start on our backs today. You can either use a blanket, towel, or a block. If you're using a block, it's gonna come right in between the shoulder blades the long way. So the block is vertical, whether it's in the lowest setting or in the highest setting. If you roll your blanket as you come down to your backs, see if you can rest the blanket right at the tips of the shoulder blades. So you're getting into a gentle back bend here right away. And so the arms are above the blanket. You can do cactus arms here. And let's tap into the hips right away so the legs can come into butterfly. If you're like, no, Joy, this is too much for me, you can take your feet as wide as your sticky mat and let the knees touch. So see where you are today, friends. Let's take a few cleansing breaths here. So inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. Final one, inhale. And exhale. Now, pardon me, seal your lips and start to breathe in and out through the nose. So close your eyes for a moment. Allow yourself to center, to fully arrive on your mat, in your body, in whatever space that you chose today for self-care. So allow yourself to just be here now. Be present. Let go of work, family, to-do lists. You took the time to gift yourself, right, yoga, so take advantage of that. Just notice the breath. Notice where the breath can easily go and where perhaps you feel that it gets a little bit stuck. So the idea now is to move the breath from the belly up all the way into the collarbones. So notice if you struggle to do that. And then slowly just bring the legs to touch. Windshield wipe your legs. You can roll to one side here, remove whatever prop you're using underneath you and come back to your belly. We're gonna take a quick twist here, supine twist. So shift your hips to the left a couple inches. Let your knees fall to the right. Gaze towards your left shoulder. You may hear your spine cracking a little bit here. Your right hand can rest on your leg, or you can have a block in between the legs if you have, if you feel that this is too much, this is too intense. Breathe deeply here for one more. Slowly come back to center. Now slide your hips a couple inches to the right. And let your knees fall to the left. Turn your gaze towards the right side. Make sure your knees are at least hip height. Let the knees fall towards the floor. You want to twist from the rib cage versus from your hips. One more breath here. Come back to center. Now we're going to do a little bit of dynamic movement here. So find your rhythm, feet hip width apart. Rest your hands by the sides of your body. As we lift our hips, we're going to also reach the arms overhead. So we're going to move into bridge. So Inhale, slowly start to lift your hips. Bring the arms overhead. Exhale, round your spine. Lower your upper back, mid back, hips and hands down to the ground. Inhale, slowly lift. Move from the belly. Move it slow, like you're moving through mud. And exhale slowly. Round that spine. Pull the belly in, lower down. 2 more. See if you now can lift to your heels off the ground. Lift a little higher. Exhale, slowly round your spine. Bring your hips down, feet down. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, slowly with control, come all the way down. Very nice. Windshield wipe your legs. Now tabletop your legs. Keep your sacrum down on the ground. Your knees are in line with the hips. If it's too much, draw the knees a little closer in. Now press through the balls of your feet. You can keep the shoulders down the whole time. Otherwise, you're gonna lace the fingers behind your head. Make sure the elbows are not pointing up. The elbows are nice and wide. I want you to lift your gaze towards the ceiling or towards the wall behind you. Lift those shoulders if you can. Navel draws down towards the floor. Take a breath in. Exhale, tap your right foot on the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, switch. Keep going here. Move with your breath. Remember, you can always lower the shoulders down to the ground if this is too much for you. Keep the belly in, flex those toes. So you tabletop the legs and just tap the toes on the floor. It doesn't have to be anything crazy here. We're just starting to wake up the core. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Now reach your arms up, lift the shoulders a little bit higher. Again, keep your neck neutral. Now you're gonna climb the imaginary rope here. And reach your right hand to the left, left to the right. Keep going. For 3, 2, 1. And slowly bring your feet and shoulders down. You can give yourself a little belly rub. Windshield wipe the legs once again. We just have a couple more core work to do here, friends. All right. Tabletop the legs once again. You're gonna lift the hands up, bring your arms outside your right leg. So hold it here. Now you're gonna inhale, extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lower your left leg down, just hover. Inhale, bend the knee again, press that foot up. And exhale, slowly lower your left leg down. Keep going. Lift the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower the leg down. So find your rhythm. Keep pulling that belly in. Final one. And then slowly release the shoulders, tabletop both legs. We're gonna do the other side. So lift your shoulders, bring your arms outside your left leg. Now lift the right shoulder off the ground. Inhale, press your foot up. Exhale, lower your right leg. Inhale, draw the knee in, extend your leg. Slowly lower down. Be mindful here of your neck and shoulders. That low back stays on the ground. We have 2 more, friends. Final one. And then slowly release. Very nice. Just windshield wipe the legs. Press your feet, come back to that bridge pose. Just open into the front body, stretch that center core for a little bit. And slowly release. Start to rock and roll here, the length of your spine. Move back and forth. It's gonna massage your back here a little bit. And then cross your legs, find downward dog, or whatever way that makes sense for you to get there. Paddle your feet. Then find stillness here. Keep lifting through the sits bones. Press those hands. Take another breath in. Stay for your exhale. Walk your feet slowly towards the top of your mat. Press your hands on your shins. Soften the knees a little bit here. And then fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Inhale, sweep your arms, come all the way up. Lace your fingers behind your back. So we're gonna start to open the shoulders right away. Breathe in and breathe out, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need here. Try to focus on bringing the knuckles away from your spine, whether you're using a strap, a towel, or you're clasping your hands. Move the head, yes and no. Open and close your mouth. One more breath in. Release your hands to the floor. Step back to your plank. Inhale at the top of your push-up. Exhale, slowly lower down. If you need, knees come down. We're gonna start with Sphinx pose here. So the shoulders are over the elbows. The feet can be touching or hip width apart. Take another breath here. And then release, press up and back, downward facing dog. So for those of you that are feeling strong today, you can tuck the toes, press to from low to high plank. Low push-up to high push-up. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump to the top of your mat. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. We're gonna pick up the pace a little bit. Inhale, sweep your arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to step back to your plank. Inhale at the top of your push-up. Exhale, lower down to your belly. We're gonna go into seal pose. So bring the hands as wide as your sticky mat. Your arms are straight. You're gonna walk the hands back enough where you can keep your arms straight. So the pelvis, the hips are pressing down on the ground. Now bring awareness to your legs. Make sure your knees are lifting off the ground. Take another breath here. Relax those shoulders down away from your ears. One more breath. And slowly release. Press up and back, downward facing dog. One inhale, slow exhale. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Step or jump to the top of your mat. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands down to the floor. Breathe in to lengthen. Breathe out, step your left foot back. Raise your right arm to the sky. Feel that chest open. You can always bring your knee to the ground. And slowly frame your foot. Take your left knee down. Inhale, sweep your arms. Good. So that knee's down, square off the hips. Now you're gonna cactus your arms here. Take your left elbow under the right. The back of your hands may touch or your palms may touch here in this low lunge. Start to lift your gaze up and back here. Dig your right heel on the ground. Breathe in between the shoulder blades, the heads of the shoulders. Take one more breath here. Slowly release the hands. Keep your left palm on the ground. Now, reach your hand back, bend your knee, grab a hold of your foot or your ankle. You can always use a strap here or a towel, friends. So breathe deeply into the hip flexor, quad. Notice if you're collapsing into the shoulder, press your palm. Take another breath in. Slowly release. Step back to plank, move like you, whether you want to take a vinyasa, your flow, Cobra or upward dog. Press up and back, downward facing dog. Take one more round, one more cycle of breath here. And then raise your left leg. Step your left foot forward. Take that open twist to your left. Raise your left arm. Watch so that left knee is not splaying out to the side. Keep drawing your knee towards the midline. One more breath in. Slowly frame your foot. Right knee comes down to the ground. Untuck your back toes. Inhale, sweep your arms. Cactus. Take your right elbow under the left this time. Start to lift your elbows and then take your hands away from your face. Keep drawing your navel in. That tailbone is nice and long. One more breath. Notice again, where do you struggle to get the breath going? Slowly release, frame your foot. Right hand stays on the ground. Reach your left hand back. And then you can always shift your hips back in order to get a hold of your foot. Use your props if you need. Now, see if you can work towards opening your chest here. So you're leaning back in this pose. Maybe your quad is screaming a little bit at you. One more breath. Good, slowly release. Step back plank, flow, or press back downward dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump to the top of your mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale to rise. We're gonna move a few times here. We're gonna cactus the arms and press the hips forward. So working into that back bend. So inhale, reach your arms. Exhale, cactus, hips forward. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Two more, breathe in and breathe out. Final one. Hold it here. Let the shoulder blades support the back of the heart. Breathe for one more. And slowly fold. Hold it here for a few breaths. Grab your elbows with opposite hands.
You can sway a little bit. You can even bend one knee, then the other. Just reset, let the low back release. Another breath here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, stack your left foot back. Take your knee to the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms. This time, lace the fingers behind your back. Press your knuckles away from your spine and down towards the ground. Keep the hip points facing forward, friends. Draw the belly in and notice if the ribs wants to splay out. You want to draw the ribs down. Maybe lift your gaze up and back. Offer your pose. Allow the heart to open here. Breathe also into the hip flexor and quad. Slowly release. We're gonna take a twist first here. So take your left hand to the floor. Raise your right arm. Open the chest. And then we're going to take that quad stretch again. So first take your right hand to the floor. Maybe that's where you stay today. Maybe your left hand comes to your foot as well. So sometimes using a blanket can be helpful. You don't want to be landing on your kneecap here. That will be uncomfortable. So you want to press the hips slightly forward. Take one more breath. Breathe into that quad. Slowly release. Shift your hips back. Take a little runner stretch here. Just let the spine get nice and long. Breathe into the hamstring a little bit and the low back. And then slowly rebend your knees, step back plank, inhale, you know what to do. Flow or just take a resting pose of your choice. Whether you are in child's pose or downward dog, see what you need. Raise your left leg to the sky. Step your left foot forward. Gently, right knee comes down to the floor. So already set up here, so you know we're gonna go into that quad stretch. So make sure you're not landing on your kneecap or do extra padding here for your knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, circle the arms. Lace the fingers and breathe here. So again, work towards taking the knuckles away from your spine and down towards the floor. If you can, gaze comes where the wall meets the ceiling, towards the sky if you're outdoors. Offer your pose. Allow yourself to create space. One more breath. Slowly release. Take your right hand to the floor. Raise your left arm, open twist first. And then reach for that foot. And then whenever you're ready, if you can, take your right hand to your foot as well. Now bring the tips of the shoulder blades to touch. Good, slide those shoulders back and down. Breathe through sensations. Use it for transformation. Find stillness. Find balance between effort and ease. Mindfully release. We meet in downward dog. Give yourself permission to just reset, reconnect. Whatever brought you to your mat today. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale to rise. Palms are gonna touch. You're gonna lace the fingers. Just release your index finger here. Make sure your feet are at least hip width apart. Glue your biceps by your ears. We're gonna do a stand back bend here. Soften the knees just a little bit. If you can, keep your biceps glued to your ears. Take a breath in, pull that belly in. Exhale, press your hips forward, shift your gaze up and back. Don't let your head fall. Keep your arms by your ears. And slowly come back to center. Take the hands to the heart. Just close your eyes for a moment. Thank yourself for your efforts. Take your hands to your hips. Bend your knees generously here. With the flat back, slowly fold. Take a moment, pause. Any arm variation that feels good. You can lace the fingers or you can clasp the hands behind your head. The elbows are heavy towards the floor. You're not pressing on your hand, on your head. One more breath here. And take your hands to the floor. Just step back to a downward dog. Take your right leg high. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, raise your right arm to the sky. Exhale, release, frame your foot. Rise for your high lunge. Your feet in your high lunge should be at least hip width apart or a little bit wider if you feel a little wobbly. You're gonna grab your elbows with opposite hands behind your back, or you can even lace the fingers here, but the idea is to keep the chest open. Take another breath in. Exhale, transfer the weight to your right foot. Find warrior three. So your warrior three, your leg is about hip height. It's not super high. Your hips are squared facing the floor. Now add that baby cobra to your pose, friends. Lift the sternum. Trust yourself. Keep your foundation strong. So pressing through your foot, engage that leg, pull the belly in. Slowly come back to your high lunge, gracefully. Inhale, offer your pose, lift the heart. Exhale, frame your foot, stay with me. Press back, three-legged dog, raise that right leg to the sky. Now bend your knees, stack your hips open. You can stay here or you're going to flip your dog. So your right foot comes down. Your feet are parallel to each other here. Lift your hips. Gaze back. Breathe. And come back to downward dog. You can take a flow in between if you want to move the energy. Or you can just take a child's pose and soften. Take your time, find downward dog. Braid your left leg high. Step your foot forward. Inhale, raise your left arm. Remember, one breath per pose. Take your time, frame your foot. On your next inhalation, rise for your high lunge. First, arrive at the lunge. Try not to anticipate and get anxious about what's to come, to the future. Good. Now choose your arm variation, whether you're gonna grab your elbows or lace your fingers. You're on the ball of the back foot, so it's challenging your balance a little bit. Now we're gonna transition into that warrior three. Raise your right leg, lift your heart, standing leg strong. Notice the need to escape the pose or the need to judge yourself. One more breath. Back to that high lunge. Take your time. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, frame your foot. Press back, three-legged dog. So your left heel reaches up towards the sky. Bend your knees, stack your hips open. You're either going to stay here or you're going to flip your dog slow. Feet parallel, lift your hips. Breathe here. One more. And then downward dog, flow, or just take a child's pose. Soften here a little bit more. Notice the quality of your breath. Find downward dog. Take one more breath here. Take your right leg high. Draw your knee towards your left elbow. Hold. Start to turn your left foot out to the side. We're gonna go into falling triangle. So you're extending your right leg out, so all 10 toes are pointing towards the same direction. Good, engage those obliques, lift your hips, one more breath. Come back to three-legged dog. Pause, breathe. Bend your knees, stack your hips open. Listen carefully, we're gonna go into wild thing. It's not flip your dog. So you're going to keep your left leg straight. Just take your right foot to the ground, stay on the ball of your right foot, that left leg is extended, lift your hips, open the chest, back to three-legged dog, step your right foot forward, inhale, rise, high lunge. Whew, we made it. Square the hips, take a breath in. Exhale, open twist to the right. Extend your arms, flip your left palm, reach up and back. Come back to center. Inhale. Draw the hands to the heart center. Exhale. On your next inhalation, we're gonna go back to the warrior three. Float your left leg. Remember, press through your heel, through the ball of your foot, so lots of energy through the feet. Now lift the heart space a little bit more. One more breath. Come back to high lunge. Inhale. Frame your foot. Exhale. Take your flow or step back, downward dog. We're almost done, friends. You're going to raise your left leg to the sky this time. Draw your left knee to your right elbow. Start to turn your foot out, falling triangle. Legs straight. Maybe raise your arm, maybe not. You can keep both hands on the floor. Lift your hips a little higher. Come back to that three-legged dog. Bend your knees, stack your hips open. You can always just stay here or slowly take your left foot to the ground. Stay on the ball of your foot, right leg straight. Breathe, one more. Come back to three-legged dog. Remember to always move from the core. Stack your foot forward. Inhale, rise, high lunge. Open twist to your left. Flip your right palm, reach up and back. Find stability. Find stillness. Inhale, reach both arms high. Palms touch, draw the energy to the heart center. Breathe in, and then slowly find warrior three. Keep soft and easy into the upper back, into the shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Slowly come back to the high lunge. Take a breath in. And then exhale, frame your foot, move through one last flow, or just take a resting pose. Soften here a bit more. And then we're gonna meet at the top of our mats whenever you're ready. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. One more inhale, lengthen, create space. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise. Press through the feet. Hands towards the heart. All right, so we're gonna, before we start cooling down and find a little bit more of restorative poses, we're going to do one final standing balancing pose, which is also a back bend. It's a heart opener. So I chose dancer's pose today because it's very playful. I think it's a very beautiful pose to do. If you know your balance is off today, I encourage you to be near a wall or a chair, whatever you have to support you. Very important, the positioning of the arm here. Make sure that you don't turn your hand around. Keep that palm out and the thumb is pointing back. So make sure your right leg right now is nice and strong. Hug muscle to bone. Spread your toes. Your hips are squared. Now just lift or kick your foot into your hand. Draw the knee back towards the midline. This is step number one. Raise your right arm. Lift your gaze, friends. Breathe in and breathe out. Kick your foot into your hand and reach that hand forward and up. So remember, the body follows where the gaze goes. See if your hip is trying to externally rotate. Keep your hips facing forward. Now kick a little more. Kick. Find your edge here as if you're going to fall, to reach forward. Kick a little more and slowly release. Shake it out. Yeah. Breathe here. Notice where you feel sensation in this pose. I definitely feel like my heart is expanding and the breath is actually finally getting there. And let's switch sides. So this time your left foot stays on the ground. Turn your right hand out. First, just grab a hold of your foot and make sure you're not turning your hand. Glue those knees together. That will help you to square the hips. Raise your left hand, inhale. Exhale, kick. Trust yourself. It's all about trust. Find the sweetness, the joy of this pose, the joy of the moment. This is what you have right now. Keep kicking, pull that belly in. Kick a little more. And slowly release. Shake it out and then find stillness here for a moment. Stand tall, close your eyes, just notice the balance, the breath, thoughts. Check in with yourself, notice your heart space. Good, and then slowly come to a seated position. We're gonna do quite a bit of releasing the low back now after all this back bends. So you can always sit on the edge of a towel or a blanket. We're gonna start with Janushirshasana. So extend your right leg in front of you, bend your left knee. Sit tall. And square the shoulders over that right leg. Inhale, reach. Exhale, slowly fold. Think of less rounding of the spine and more lengthening, more space. You should start to feel sensation in the back of your leg, but also into the left side of your lower back here. As you create a little bit more space, give yourself permission to perhaps go a little deeper. Find something new. Notice if the shoulders are trying to take over or the thoughts. Final breath here. Slowly, mindfully release. Take your left hand to the ground. Let's take stargazer pose. So breathe into the side body here. Yeah. And mindfully release. Switch sides.
Sit tall, curl the toes, breathe in, reach, lengthen, and breathe out, fold. Try to square and level the shoulders. Bring awareness to the back body right now. So the back of your leg, your low back, mid back, upper back. And remember, we always want to lead from the heart. The heart is a beautiful place, right? It's a beautiful place for space for love, for joy, for gratitude, compassion, empathy. But it can also be a dark space sometimes, right? For anger, resentment, sadness, grief. So today we were cultivating a little bit more, creating a little bit more space, right? To unclutter. So we are able to cultivate more of the things that we need in our lives. Final breath. And then slowly walk the hands back, plant your right palm, take an inhale, lift the hips, stargazer pose. And come all the way down. All right, so let's actually do butterfly, Bicone. It's something a little bit more restorative. So I'm gonna encourage you here to round your spine, use blocks, anything you wanna do. So just the way you place your legs, you can either take the feet closer to you. That will be a little bit more intense into the legs and groins. You can walk the feet forward a little bit more. Just take a breath in, circle the arms, and exhale, round your spine, friends. So there's no effort here. If you don't have blocks, you can make fists with your hands and stack your fists and maybe rest your forehead. As we approach the end of class, just notice again the need to check out, to escape. Two more breaths here. You can maybe even thread your arms under the legs a little bit here. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Slowly start to release this pose. You can just windshield wipe your legs. And we're gonna come down to our backs. Once you get there, take a moment here to plant your palms on your knees and draw little circles here. You can either move your knees to the same direction or you can move them in the opposite direction. Just notice anything might be left in the sacrum. And then let's take a happy baby here.
That's another great opportunity to release the low back a little bit more, get a little bit more into the hips, hamstring. You can stay in stillness or you can rock gently from side to side. If you're looking for more sensation, you can extend one leg out, keeping the other knee bent, and then switch sides. See if you can get a little deeper here. Lengthen that tailbone. Keep the shoulder blades resting on the ground. Flex your feet. So you're pressing your feet up and drawing your knees down. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Every time you exhale, see if you can draw the knees a little bit more towards the earth. Take a breath in. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more. Open mouth, exhale. Final one, breathe in. Audible exhale. Bring the soles of your feet to touch for a reclined butterfly pose. Use your elbows and arms to press into the legs. And slowly release. We're gonna take a final twist here. So once again, let the knees fall to the right. Open your arms to a T or cactus. For those of you that want a little bit more today, you can extend your leg, left leg out to the side, and you can grab your shin or your foot. And you can even add another quad stretch here. So that right foot comes behind the back, and you grab your foot with your left hand. And if you're like, I have no idea what you just said, it's okay. Just stick with your twist. And mindfully release, come back to center. Slide your hips to the right, knees to the left. Again, remember always to keep the knees at least hip height or a little bit higher. You can extend your leg, right leg out to the side. You can take your right hand to your left foot and add that quad stretch. Final breath in, slow breath out. Come back to center. Hug both knees in, wrap your forearms around your shins. Forehead to knees, say something kind to yourself. Squeeze everything tight, inhale. Exhale, release for Shavasana. Extend your legs, your arms. Give yourself permission to just receive the beautiful gifts as you thank yourself for your efforts. No more efforts here, just letting go.